The ocean can be so scary, especially when there's sharks around. Watch this paddleboarder find himself right above a shark trying to eat a turtle, but it only gets worse when this happens.
They're underneath me. Look, the tiger's got the turtle underneath me. Uh-oh. Oh, what?
It literally tried to bite his board. I would never even drink water again after that. But if you think that's scary, imagine being in a cage surrounded by sharks, thinking you're safe until a great white decides to attack. That's exactly what happened to these two guys who were just chilling in their cage, and then out of the blue, this happened. Boy, oh boy, I'm sweating just watching that. Now, this guy has a close call and comes face to face with a great white shark. Watch how he handles it, grabbing its face as another shark swims inches away. That's actually crazy. I don't know what I would do in that situation. Now, if you've ever gone fishing, imagine the shock of reeling in a shark. That's one fish you definitely don't want to mess with. But sometimes a shark gets mad and decides to attack your fishing boat. That's exactly what happened to these guys. Just watch this massive shark try to eat the engine.
What's happening? Bro, have a look. Seriously, man, he's bit the prop. Oh my God.
Okay, but that's nothing compared to this video, where a guy almost has his head completely bitten off by a shark. Whoa, luckily his friend was there to save him, or that could have ended really badly for him. And if you think that's crazy, imagine being on a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean, and then that lifeboat capsizes. And if that's not scary enough, the water is infested with sharks, as seen here. It probably doesn't help that it's the middle of the night as well. But what if you were in a shark tank and a great white came up to try to bite your wire? I'd probably freak out. That's pretty crazy. But not as crazy as the surprise this guy would get when he was paddleboarding alone in the middle of a lake, as he thought he was in safe waters, but when he fell off his board, he would meet a giant shark right below the surface. Video footage reveals a massive shark swimming beneath him, and he tried to swim away to get back on his board. He got it all on video and got away without being attacked. Which isn't even as scary as this video, which shows a guy underwater in a see-through cage, so sharks can't even tell you're in a cage and try to attack you. And if you don't have any protection like this kayaker here, it can be even more scary. This guy has to fend off a hammerhead shark with his paddle, all while the shark refuses to leave him alone and keeps trying to eat him. This video is pretty intense. Just look at how the shark is circling his kayak underwater. Cliff jumping is already pretty scary, but imagine if you jumped from a cliff and then met a shark. Well, this guy jumped off a cliff almost right into the jaws of a shark. You can see him fighting to get away, but look at the size of that shark. Luckily for him, the shark didn't want to eat him, and eventually he got to shore, but I have to say, that might have changed his thoughts on cliff jumping forever. So that's not even as scary as this diver who had to fight off a shark with just a spear. The shark charged towards the diver, and look how he reacted. He put the spear right in the shark's mouth. Like, whoa, that's pretty scary, bro. And that doesn't even compare to this incident where a shark actually broke into the cage while the divers were diving. It starts with the shark basically charging at the cage and getting stuck in the bars. After splashing around for a while, the shark came up to the top of the cage where the divers were supposed to be. That's one place you definitely don't want to have a shark encounter. Luckily, the diver was able to get out first, but this guy wasn't so lucky. This diver was actually in the cage when the shark broke in, which he had never experienced before. Imagine the terror of being in a cage underwater thinking you're safe from sharks, and then a shark breaks in, leaving you trapped with one of the most dangerous fishes in the sea. That's so insane. But that doesn't even compare to this incident where a shark started attacking a cage. However, different from the other clips, this shark seemed really smart because it started biting the floaties that were keeping the cage from sinking. Luckily, the shark only punctures one of the floaties before the diver got up on the boat to safety, but oh boy, that's too close for comfort. And while we're on the topic of shark cages, why not watch this shark who's shown here trying to attack the people inside the cage. Like, it must have been pretty hungry because it's charging so fast, and it doesn't even seem to realize there's a cage, and so it hits one of the bars before it's able to eat anyone, so everyone was safe. But what if you didn't have a cage, like this guy here, who's having a swim before a shark charges him, and all he has is a spear to defend himself? Like, that must have been a pretty scary situation. Like, where do these things live? Am I gonna find one in my bathtub? And also, not every shark goes away after you try to spear it, like this one here who keeps coming back to try to eat the diver. Even after it's been hit by the spear, I guess some giant fish just don't mind a little poke if the lunch looks tasty enough. Some divers get attacked head on, like this one. This diver was starting to dive down when a shark came running towards him, and I don't think it's because the shark wanted to be friends. Now, it seemed like the shark wanted to eat him, which isn't what friends do, which is why it's important to have good friends that don't want to eat you. But even in a cage, you're not always safe. This shark began eating the rubber on the outside of the cage while the people were still inside. It continued circling the cage looking for a snack before it swam away. But this great white was determined to get into the cage and even started biting through the bars, which is totally gnarly. These guys are probably pretty happy the great white shark didn't get into the cage, cause it would have been bad. Like, you don't know what a great white shark can do, it can munch you up and swallow you. So that's probably why this kayaker was so scared when a shark started trying to bite his kayak, which almost made the whole kayak capsize, which would leave the guy in the water with a hungry shark. Luckily for him though, he was able to paddle away so the shark did not eat him, at least not that day. But maybe in the future, you never know. This kayaker definitely got spooked as well when a shark pulled up just to scare him and swim under his kayak, which is pretty scary on its own, especially so close to land where you think you're safe. But all of these clips don't even look scary next to this massive shark caught on camera. Just look at this chubbo. Like, this guy must have been pretty scared. I know I would be, cause he wasn't even in his cage when this giant swam up next to him. Like, what would this guy even do if that shark was hungry? It seems pretty spooky. But not even as spooky as this kayaker who was going for a fish, looking to find and catch fish, and oh boy, he did find a fish. As you can see on camera, this guy noticed a giant shark swimming right below his kayak, circling around, which could have easily toppled over his kayak if it wanted to. Talk about unfriendly neighbors. I mean, this other kayaker just wanted to go for a relaxing kayak, and then a shark swam right next to him, giving him a condition called the chills. But this clip of a crew catching a shark is even crazier. It even splashes the entire crew. Just check out their reactions.
Here we go. Oh my God.
Whoa guys, they sounded pretty stressed. Good thing that shark was so calm. And if you don't know how big sharks are, check out this massive one caught a couple years ago. Just look how big it is. It's flopping around the boat like a fish out of water, because after all, it is a fish out of water. It's eventually released back into the water where most fish live. But did you know that sharks don't have bones, which I don't know what you could do without bones. Maybe you've broken a bone and oh boy, that hurts, but sharks can't even break their bones biking or falling down the stairs because they don't have bones. Sharks also have really good eyesight. They can see really good with their eyes, which makes their ability to hunt good way better than if they didn't. There's also over 500 species of sharks, which is a lot of species, and sharks are really well known by many people, but most people don't even know how many shark species there are. Leave in the comments your favorite shark. But if you want to see the cutest shark attack ever caught on camera, bite the subscribe button in the next 5 seconds so I can show you. Watch as this baby shark swims up to this guy's leg and tries to bite him. Now, I don't know if this guy can breathe underwater or how this guy is just chilling under the water, but that's definitely a cool experience when the shark isn't big enough to eat you. Now, leave a comment right now. What would you do in this situation? I gotta hand it to the guy because he doesn't really do anything to the shark, but if that was me, I'd still be pretty scared anyway. But what would you do? Leave a comment. And also subscribe because this video is lit. So if you want to see more lit videos, hit subscribe. That's one baby shark that's definitely going do 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 do.